Mhm. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence. Now, this year is 77th anniversary of Indian independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, and Viksit Bharat 2047. India as a developed country, a vision in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating the Bill of Rights Day, which is observed on December 15th in US, which is an important day to celebrate America's Constitution and the framework of society that ascribes rights and freedoms to society. Bill of Rights Day commemorates the ratification of the first 10 amendments to the US Constitution with the National Archives documenting its many celebrations of the day. The bill was introduced by James Madison, who later became the fourth president of the United States. Now, the Bill of Rights is displayed in the rotunda of the National Archives building in Washington, D.C., as a reminder to all Americans of their constitutional freedoms. The first amendments of the Constitution were ratified on December 15, 1971. The 10 amendments protect the basic rights of Americans, known as a Bill of Rights. It consists of notions like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, the right to protest, and equal protection under the law. Other amendments include the right to bear arms, protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, and so forth. Former President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued a proclamation that dedicated December 15th as a Bill of Rights Day. This was made in the honor of the Constitution to celebrate the document's 150th anniversary. The first Bill of Rights Day took place just 8 days after the Pearl Harbor attack and America's entry into the World War II. In a historic radio address, President Roosevelt made an opening for the first Bill of Rights Day in 1941. He stated, "No date in the long history of freedom means more to liberty-loving men in all liberty-loving countries than the 15th day of December 1970. Roosevelt also mentioned that there isn't a country across the globe that hasn't felt the effects of Bill of Rights directly or indirectly. Hitler and Nazis in Germany were denounced during the famous speech for taking away individual freedoms. President Harry Truman issued another proclamation 5 years later in 1946, after Congress requested to observe Bill of Rights again. World War II has come to an end just a year before, 1945, but it wasn't until 1952 that President Truman proclaimed the Bill of Rights to be observed every year. The proclamation is usually coupled with the proclamation on Human Rights Day and Week. In 2019, President Donald Trump proclaimed December 15th as Bill of Rights Day again. During Human Rights Day, Bill of Rights Day, and Human Rights Week, we celebrate the Bill of Rights for safeguarding our God-given rights and protecting us from the abuse of government power. Trump noted, "I call upon the people of the United States to mark these observances with appropriate ceremonies and activities." Today is also commemorated as Cat Herders Day in US. Although the only job remotely close to cat herding is working at your local animal shelter, this day is not dedicated to cats. This day is meant for those who manage others and themselves no matter what chaos is thrown in their way. The idiom "like herding cats" was popularized during a Super Bowl commercial in 2000 by EDS. They compared their ability to serve others like cowboys herding cats with ease. Since then, the phrase is mostly used to describe who can lead and handle life even when it's uncontrollable. The term is also considered as skilled workers use when leading a group towards one goal. Day is also commemorated as International Tea Day. Step aside coffee and Coca-Cola for International Tea Day on December 15th. We drink the most popular beverage in the world. The day mainly seeks to raise awareness on the impact of the tea trade has on farmers and workers, but it's also celebrated by tea lovers worldwide. Tea was initially mostly used for medicinal purposes until the 17th century when tea was made its way to UK. The main types include black, green, white, herbal, Kolang, and pure. While this day has been observed since 2005, in 2019, the United Nations introduced a new International Tea Day on May 21st. We celebrate both. Who doesn't want double tea? There's no better way to start our day than with a pleasant tea and aroma of tea. It can include herbal tea as well, which is more healthy and avoids addiction to tea. Legend has it that tea was first discovered over 4,000 years ago in India and China. And one of his visits in China by Emperor Nanshan to a remote region, the leaves of nearby tree blew into a pot of boiling water, which servants had placed over a fire. The refreshing aroma invited the emperor to taste the beverage, and the first cup of tea was born in China. And in India, tea was used as a medicinal and herbal properties even before. In the 16th century, tea made its way across the globe to Europe by Dutch traders, where it became a widely traded commodity thanks to the establishment of East India Company in England. The rest say its history, other than its taste and benefits. Tea contributions to culture and socio-economic development are just as relevant. Grown in over 35 countries, the cultivation of tea supports the livelihood of over 13 million people. Started by the trade unions in 2005, International Tea Day celebrates the health benefits, economic importance, and cultural heritage of tea, all the while ensuring a more sustainable production from fields to our cups, bringing together civil society organizations and small tea growers and business. This day aims to regulate uneven competition, safety regulations, land occupation, social security, living wages, and women rights for all tea workers. Seminars, public campaigns, webinars, and presentations are traditionally held. The goal is to strengthen the regulations of Tea Growers Association. Other than recognizing that tea as a big export crop for countries that produce it, tea culture is also celebrated by enthusiasts. Today is also commemorated National Cupcake Day in the US, swelled with frosting covered with sprinkles dipped in ganache or drizzled with chocolate. Cupcakes are one of the kind desserts that are whimsically versatile for any occasion. They have evolved far and wide from just chocolate and vanilla to fulfill almost all of our dessert dreams and fantasies. Luckily, today is National Cupcake Day, recognized annually on December 15th in the US to commemorate these compact yet delectable sweets. Indulge all you want in your favorite cupcake treats today. You'll probably want seconds. Actually, make the thirds. Today is also commemorated as National Lemon Cupcake Day in US, a day that's all about bite-sized pieces of heaven filled with lemony goodness. Out of all cupcakes in the world, the humble lemon cupcake remains our favorite. A little bit sweet, a little tart. The distinctive taste of lemon cupcakes is hard to beat. There's something about them that immediately reminds us of summer afternoons at home and we love how this day dedicated to the unassuming cake in a cup. The United States can lay some claiming to invention cupcakes. One of the earliest mentions of a cupcake was in 1796 as a recipe notion or notation. In her book American Cookery, Amelia Simmons mentions a light cake to bake in small cups in her notes. Soon, baking tiny cakes in their own molds became an easy and popular method with cooks everywhere. Cupcakes were the perfect dessert to make easy on waistlines. They were the quintessential snack cake everyone needed. Today is also commemorated as National Regifting Day in US, which is celebrated on the third Thursday of December of every year. This year it takes place on December 15th. It aims to encourage the practice of regifting across the states. Regifting refers to the act of a gift and giving it to someone else, often under the guise of a new gift. National Regifting Day originally started off as an office holiday during the holiday season, wherein co-workers would often regift gifts that they received and don't really want. Regifting, barring a few conditions, can be a very efficient way of repurposing unused items. The term regifting was first popularized in the 1995 episode of the sitcom Seinfeld called The Label Maker, where a label maker is regifted from one chance character to another. The actual practice, of course, predates the show by many years. The British term for a gift that is passed around a group is called matam. National Regifting Day originally started off as an office holiday during the holiday season, where co-workers would often regift gifts that they have received and didn't really want. A fascinating part of the culture of workplace regifting is the practice of white elephant gift exchanges, in which gifts are exchanged between co-workers by stealing gifts you want for yourself from other people. So on October 24, 2008, the state of Colorado announced December 18th to be National Regifting Day. Regifting can be a sustainable way of making use of an item that you initially thought you would discard or leave to collect dust on a shelf. However, it is important to keep in mind a few rules when deciding on whether to regift an item or not. Make sure that the gift you are passing along has never been used, is devoid of any sentimental value, is not personalized, and is actually a good fit for the recipe. Today is also commemorated as National Wear Your Pearls Day in US on December 15th, which was originally conceived by best-selling author Deanna Booker, who found her calling to the ministry in the middle of her college career. Literal pearls are not necessary to celebrate the day. It's about adversity we all must go through in our lives, which we doesn't defeat us, but makes us more vulnerable and beautiful. Sorry, more valuable and beautiful. Just as a grain of water, sand inside an oyster, causes the formation of a precious gem, the Pearl National where your Pearls Day is ideal to assess yourself for what you are, a resilient, resourceful, and beautiful human. Today is also commemorated as Ugly Sweater Day in US every third Friday of December, December 15th. People all over nation trade their casual garments for something more festive for Ugly Sweater. Whether you find a hidden gem to wear, you can make your own. One thing's for sure, this will certainly have you laughing all day long. Ugly Sweaters Day have been around for as long as people created a concept of fashion. They weren't always made purposefully. Maybe someone made a mistake. They're knitting or tried a new design that didn't turn out as good as they thought it would. However, it wasn't long before the grandmas everywhere were knowingly maybe chuckling to themselves, knitting their grandchildren ugly Christmas sweaters complete with bubbles and I love my grandma lettering. They knew that they were watching you. Grands. However, mass market ugly sweaters made their purposeful debut in 80s. Popular character Bill Huxtable on the Cosby Show constantly made fashionistas gasp when he had come into the scene in a gaudy, ugly yet slightly endearing setting that he knew was completely outrageous. In 1989, Chevy Chase added his own twist on the theme as a class wizard in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation movie. And the trend continued. So, with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this day. See you all tomorrow at the same time, different commemorations. Take care. Good night. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. Take care. Good night.